There's a further prophecy mentioned in the book of Isaiah, chapter number 12, verse number 29, that the book shall be given to a person who is not learned. And when he will be asked, pray, read this, he will say, I am not learned.
And so Muslims such as Dr. Zakir Naik will say that this applies to Muhammad, because in Ghar Hira the angel came to Muhammad and said, read, and he says, I cannot read, or I don't know how to read. Therefore this is a clear prophecy of when Muhammad is going to come. Well, all anyone has to do is read the context of this verse. This is not a prophecy of any sort. No one is saying anything about the coming of a prophet here. In verse 11 it starts, for you this whole vision is nothing but words sealed in a scroll. And if you give the scroll to someone who can read and say to him, read this please, he will answer, I can't, it is sealed. Or if you give the scroll to someone who cannot read and say, read this please, he will answer, I don't know how to read. This is simply a description of the way the world is. And in fact, it includes those who can read and cannot read. It says, if you give a scroll that is sealed to someone who can read, he will say, I can't, it is sealed. And it says, if you give a scroll to someone who cannot read, he says, I can't read it, because I don't know how to read. In other words, this statement is talking about people being unwilling to follow the Word of God. And it applies to everyone, those who can and those who can't read. Simply saying that this refers to the coming of Muhammad is taking it entirely out of context and wrenching the Word of God to say something it does not say.